just even after Palestine was accepted as an observing member of the United Nations, Israel said, not even through diplomatic channels will we accept any solution. With the building of 3,000 more settlements in the West Bank, that will continue to cut the West Bank into mini Bantustans, ghettoizing the more than 2 million Palestinians who reside in the West Bank. And then when Israel says that it's terrorism when Palestinians resist, then the people of Gaza resist by any means that they can, it is very clear what Israel wants is apartheid. That for Israel, apartheid is the solution. It's not what it only exists right now on the ground, but it is the solution. That Palestinians will be forced into ghettoized enclaves, that the overwhelming majority of Palestinians who live in refugee camps in Syria, in Jordan, in Lebanon, and across the diaspora around the world will not have the same rights that any Jewish person around the world has, which is to migrate and to become citizens in the land of Palestine, while indigenous Palestinians will concretely not have the right and haven't had the right to return back to their homelands and back to their homes and back to the land in Palestine. This is the solution that Israel wants and that Israel has been doing since its inception over 60 years ago. And as much despair and as worse as Israeli policies and Israeli aggression has come, whether it be in 2006, the war in Lebanon that left over 1,300 Lebanese killed, whether it be Operation Cast-Lead that left over 1,400 Palestinians killed, we have a government that doesn't exercise any just solution, any diplomatic pressure on Israel, but continues to openly support Israeli apartheid and furthering and deepening that support day by day. John Baird's comments at the UN this past week were deplorable. Jason Kenney touts his own support for Israeli apartheid by shopping at stores that sell Israeli products. Mr. Harper continues to openly support Israeli apartheid and to make sure that there would be no Canadian funding to UNRWA, which is the only source of food for Palestinians living under an illegal siege in the Gaza Strip. But as much as this may be, as much despair as this may seem, that Canadian policy is only getting worse, it is being undermined every day. Every action that this government takes, a movement for boycott, divestment, and sanctions is actually growing. Just this week or next week, we'll actually see students at Polytechnique launch a campaign to end ties with Israeli universities. The Graduate Student Association at Concordia will pass a resolution for boycott, divestment, and sanctions. Last week, Stevie Wonder, who many of us love, boycotted a concert that was supposed to fundraise for the Friends of the Israeli Defense Forces under public pressure. And just 2 days ago, the International Federation of Public Service Unions adopted a BDS resolution and to support Israeli Apartheid Week around the world. And this is no small feat. This is a federation of unions that includes the Public Service Alliance of Canada, CSQ, FINAC, FIC, globally, all the public sector unions around the world. So the BDS movement is growing. We had 3,000 people attend the World Social Forum on Palestine this past week in Brazil. So as much despair as it may seem, Yes, and also, as Janine just mentioned, the sports boycott, where 20 soccer players signed refusing to play in Israel. So the BDS movement is growing, and it's only a matter of, it's not a question of if, it's only a question of when Israeli apartheid will end, because of the movement that we're building here in Montreal, in Quebec, and around the world for boycott, divestment, and sanctions. Free Palestine, free Gaza, end Israeli apartheid. Thank you.
Boycottons Israël, boycottons les criminels. Boycottons Israël, boycottons les criminels. Boycottons Israël, boycottons les criminels. Boycottons Israël, boycottons les criminels.